Welcome to the PCS Adventures Educator Spotlight Series. In today's sponsored feature story, we're exploring creativity cooking up in the classroom. We caught up with homeschool director Brittany Morgan, who's teaching her students where our food comes from with PCS Adventures BrickLAB STEAMventures.
So currently, I don't teach in an Idaho public school right now, but I am the director of a local community homeschool co-op. So that's how I actually started using Edventures with my group, which is fun. But I know that like in my traditional classroom setting, even with music, we did so much STEM. So I feel like I was the sciencey music teacher, musicy science teacher, because it's so integrated, but I never got a chance to use that in my classroom officially. But I found you guys when I started homeschooling. I had taught through the pandemic, and then that's when my oldest came home, or I came home, and he started kindergarten because we didn't know what that year was going to look like. Are we in person? Are we home? So we just decided to try homeschooling. And coming from a public school background, that's pretty risky and different. So we tried it. It was successful, and we loved it so much that we joined some, and then we started our own co-op. And we settled on using some of the units from Edventures because my family lives on a homestead, and they just fit together so well.
So Food Steamventures, and this was the very first one that you got. Is that correct? From PCS?
Let's see, the food one.
Uh-huh.
The food and the transportation and airplanes. I think there's a trio of them, but yeah.
Talk to me about that one, when you got that shipment and unboxing it and what you utilized to get it started and maybe what you changed it up to kind of fit your learning environment.
Yeah, when I got that one, it came in a really cute little box, and it fits so nicely on my teacher shelf right now. I've got to tell you, it's kind of beautiful. It just slides right in, and it's got this great spine, so I have it. So when I got it, I opened it up, and there's the teacher manual in it, and I know there was a set of kids, or no, I think each kid got a different box, I want to say, but I just have my materials all in one. So yes, that's right. Sorry, I'm going back. It's been 3 years now. So each kid got their own box. So when I brought the materials to class and each kid got their own box, it was them that got to have the special unboxing moment. Because in some of the other units, I got to have the special unboxing moment, but this time they did, which I think really enlivened the ownership of it because they're opening it and it's exciting and it felt like Christmas. So when you open it, they had their kid magazine inside of it. And they loved that. So they had a lot of ownership over getting that box. That it was like a little cardboard box. Anyways, so it was so cutely done, and the kids loved it. So my favorite parts about that one was I did love that there was some references to Idaho farmers in there, and we're in Idaho, so my students loved that. They're like, wait a second, that's just down the road. I've probably seen that farm. I'm like, guys, we don't know which farm it is, but they really like took a lot of ownership. They're like, but that's in Idaho. I've probably seen that farm. Like, okay, guys, could be any farm, who knows, but they loved it because it was so relatable to them. And I think their favorite lesson that really hit home, and I still hear them talk about from time to time, is the cacao plant and how you get chocolate. And they loved that. So we made hot chocolate. We did it. We did that unit in the fall one year, a couple years ago. So it was like the perfect day when we made hot chocolate in class. And I kind of led them to believe that we were going to have to go through the whole process to make hot chocolate. But I actually just, brought little packets of hot chocolate to class with my tea kettle. So it was like instant, but I kind of led them to believe like we were going to recreate that whole experience. And they're like, well, how are we going to get on a plane and get the cacao plants? And then how are we going to grind them down? Or we'll just use it. Like they kind of loved that moment. They're like, oh, that would be really hard to do. But it was fun seeing their brains just start to think like, well, where does chocolate come from? Oh, and then I think specifically that one of the lessons in there talking about the chocolate was like how valuable it was and how it had been traded as money at one point. And my son, he was 7 at the time. And I think every time he saw a chocolate bar that year, he's like, Mom, did you know that would equal 1 month's worth of earning money for a job? Like, okay. So it really started to click with him that like it was valuable. So that was really interesting. Yeah. They loved that lesson. And they really loved the different builds with the Legos every week. And it kind of started organically that they wanted me to take pictures. And then the next week, then they would try to like outdo each other with who could add something into the build that was in the book. And then they would try to add on a new detail. And then the next time we do a build, then another kid would try to think of something more creative. So it became this fun classroom like competition of who could do the build with the blocks and then add stuff to it. So that was super fun.
That is fun. I love that story about the cacao, and they'll appreciate more where food comes from too. Can you tell me any other experiences that they had with the food unit on maybe some of the other things that they learned about and what they started to kind of connect or appreciate with, like, oh, wait, that's where that comes from?
Yeah, I think they started, at least for the ages of kids that I had go through there, was kindergarten, first and second. And I think for some of them, it was the first time they had thought about food coming from somewhere besides the grocery store. You know, for a lot of them, it was like, yeah, you get that at the grocery store. Your mom buys it. Like, okay, but where did it come from before then? You know, I mean, even as adults, we kind of take for granted that a banana is going to be available all the time. But yeah, for them, they're like, wait, where do we get strawberries from if they're not growing? It's in the middle of winter. So we had some of those fun discussions of like, oh, they don't just arrive. You can't 3D print a strawberry, you know, in winter. Oh, yeah. So it was fun to see that aha moment. And we did have some fun discussions of like, you know, hearing them like go to the grocery store with their moms through the week and then coming to class the following week and saying, I saw a banana just like we made last week. I saw a strawberry. And it's like things we take for granted. Like you see bananas and strawberries all the time. But then they're like, I saw one in real life. Like, wow, guys. But to them, it was meaning something, you know, it was like meaning something brand new to them. Yeah.
Talk to me about this specific program as far as what the kiddos learned, or any lifelong skills that they may have developed from learning where our food comes from.
Yeah, specifically with the food one, I really saw a lot of collaboration within our group. I felt like that one was a really fun team bonding one. The lessons themselves were not so robust and scripted that it was like, it wasn't overwhelming to get through them. So I feel like I gave myself about an hour to do each lesson. And I feel like if I had to do it in a half hour, I could, but my students were kind of little. And for some of them, following and doing the brick builds was very challenging. For some of them, it was really easy. So I did see like some of my first, second graders helping my kindergartners out and first graders. And then kids have different level of skills too. Some of my kiddos felt very comfortable reading the directions, and other of my kiddos, they could look at the directions for hours and not understand how to put the bricks together. But they just think they're thinking differently. They weren't thinking spatially. So I saw them helping each other a lot. And that was a really sweet moment. So I started to see that really build through the unit, because there's quite a few. There's simple builds, maybe as an adult thinking about the brick builds that we made the strawberry, and we made a tree, and we made an apple, and we made a banana. So as like an adult, it seems simple, but for some of them, it was very challenging. And I loved seeing them help each other work together. And then that aha moment of, look, I did it, and they helped me do it. I loved that. We had that. And then seeing that food doesn't just appear at the grocery store. I think those were my favorite aha moments to watch them experience. So it's easy to get into, it's easy to open and go. I feel like a person who really likes to plan could spend a lot of time planning, or if you're like me and you just need something to open and go, it's very simple. It's very simple. And you look like a rock star, and all the parents and other teachers know it. And the kids are like skipping in to do it. And yeah, easy, fun. The kids love it. They won't want to stop. Oh, and they're already asking me what unit we're doing next year. So yes.
Super fun. And I'd say just take the credit, just be that rock star. And
just kind of I'm taking the credit, you got to take a win when you get it. Yeah. I just wish I had more time to do more. There's more things. And then the school year would come to an end. I'm like, I wish we had time to do this, extra extension, or, I would add this in. So yeah, I just wanted more time to do more.
Thank you, Brittany, for taking the time to share your story and giving us a little taste of the success you're having with learning on the homestead. To listen to more stories from educators like you, visit edventures.com/spotlight. That's EDVENTURES.com/spotlight.